As I was wheeled into theater, the doctor, he looked down at me and he said, "What's your name?" I said, my name's Yanky." He said, "My name's Levi Yitzchak." He then put me under, and I went into theater. And when I woke up a few hours later, he came to me, he told me that he's a Jewish doctor. He lives in Bondi, and he heard there was a shooting, and he assumed straight away that patients are going to be sent to his hospital. So he just got in his car and drove to the hospital. No, he wasn't on duty, he wasn't on shift, he wasn't even on call, and he just came straight to the hospital.
This episode manifested super quickly. I have a conversation with Yanky Super, who is a Shat Hatzalah member on the scene at Bondi Beach. We discussed what happened, the miracles that occurred, and how to hold on to hope. This episode is powered by PZ Deals and CBN News. Here we go. Yanky Super, thank you so much for doing this. In general, I am so thankful for when anyone does an interview, particularly you're literally still in the hospital and you're so willing to talk and speak to the world and after everything you've gone through. So first off, from the bottom of my heart and everyone, thank you. And we're hoping you're getting better and doing better.
Thank you, Yaakov. No, it was important for me to get on here and just publicly, Nissim, publicly acknowledge the Nissim that happened. It's very important. I'm still here in ICU, but I'm happy to be on here and chat with you.
Thank you. Okay, so could you take us through the events of the day, that morning? What was it like, and take us through it?
So I'm in Hatzalah here, and there was 2 events on Sunday that requested medical standby. I've been going to the Bondi events for really 4 years, my 4th year in a row going. So Bondi is usually my thing. I've been there every other year. Other volunteers go to different events. Bondi was always my thing. And so this year, of course, I came to Bondi again. It started at 5 o'clock. I got there about 4:40. Just set up my equipment, had everything ready. Chose a nice vantage point for myself that I can see the whole crowd. So if anything happens, I can see what's happening. So I usually pick a spot close to the entrance, which I did. I parked my car, and I brought my equipment into the whole area was fenced off as well. Brought my equipment in, put it down, and I chose a nice area, which is right by the entrance, to go watch the whole crowd. And I started there, walking around. I did a few rounds. I went around to people, walked up and down. 2 minutes before the shooting started, I went over I saw one of the other Hatzalah volunteers who was there with his family. I just went over to him and said hello. I said hello to him, and then I said, I'm just going to go back to my spot because the event looks like it's starting now. They can start lighting the banana. So I left him. He's the other end of the park. And I walked back to my spot, and I stood there, and not even 5 minutes later, I just fell to the ground. It felt like a zap in my body, and just fell to the ground. I didn't even know what happened. I believe I was one of the first people shot. So we not even heard gunshots. I didn't hear any shooting until I was on the ground. And I just felt like a zap, and I lay on the ground, and then I realized straight away what happened. I screaming, and everyone on the ground around me. I looked to my left, there's people lying on the ground. To my right, everyone's on the ground. And I realized straight away what happened. So I reached for my radio. My radio is on my belt, and I have a speaker mic, which is it's got a wire from the radio over my shoulder, and the radio sits up here on my shoulder. I talk into it. So I went to grab it to talk into the radio to say what's happened. As I grab it, I feel there's nothing. The button's not there. The mic's not there. So I see there's no mic. I see that it's been shot at. So I grabbed the actual radio, which was on my belt, and I had to disconnect the mic because the wire was still plugged in, so it's picking up audio from the mic, which is shot. So I had to quickly unscrew the mic and grab the physical reading. I hit my duress alarm on the radio, and I said on the radio that there's shots at Bondi Beach, and I need backup. I've been hit, multiple casualties, and I need backup urgently. And the responders were quick. The shooting was going on for 10 minutes until the police managed to neutralize him. And I called in straight away on the radio, and the first Natal member arrived while there was still shooting. There was still gunfire. I saw his car pulling in while the shooting was still going on. And he jumped out of the car under live fire. And I heard him screaming, "Where's Yanky? Where's Yanky?" And he was looking for me. He couldn't find me because usually at a standby, we always put in a high vis so we're visible. For some reason, I didn't put the high vis on. I forgot about it. I don't know why. I didn't put the high vis on. I was wearing just a Hatzalah shirt. And luckily, I didn't put the high vis on because if I had the high vis, I probably would have been a much easier target for the terrorists.
Wow.
Because I was standing quite close to where they were. But luckily, I didn't have the high vis on. I heard him shouting, but I couldn't even talk back. I was shot in the back. A bullet went through my back and hit my lung. So I couldn't really talk. I was having trouble breathing. But I heard him shouting on the radio and heard his voice screaming. And I just lay there. I couldn't do anything. And eventually, that's all I remember. He found me. But by the time he found me, the shooting had stopped already. And he quickly rolled me over and cut my shirt off and started holding pressure on the wound. And he said, "Where are the keys to your car?" I gave him the keys. I drive outside to marked vehicle, to a response car. And he gave the keys to someone and said, "There's people dying. I'm going to go help them. Yankees stable. Drive them to the hospital." There was at that point there was no ambulance. They didn't want to wait. So he chucked the keys to someone, and I jumped into the car. And as we drive out, all of the ambulances start arriving. So the guy driving just stopped the car, and I jumped out of the ambulance and I ran towards the ambulance. I know all the paramedics, but first name I work with them every day, and they all know me. They didn't realize I was shot. They saw me running towards them. They thought I'm running towards them to help them, and they running out of the car, and I'm running towards them. They thought I'm coming here to help them, and I said, "Guys, I've been shot. And one of the paramedics, who's also a Tzal member, he happened to be on shift that day, and he saw me. And he quickly pulled me to the ambulance and laid me on the ground, and started treating me. And eventually, they realized that I've got a collapsed lung, and they put me in the ambulance and took me in hospital under police escort. Police escorted my ambulance to the hospital, and I went straight to surgery, and I got wheeled into theater, and I'm lying there, and I was conscious. So as I was wheeled into theater, the doctor, he looked down at me and he said, "What's your name?" I said, my name's Yanky." He said, "My name is Levi Yitzchak." And that's all I remember. He then put me under, and I went into theater. And when I woke up a few hours later, he came to me and told me that he lives, he's a Jewish doctor. He lives in Bondi, and he heard there was a shooting, and he assumed straight away that patients are going to be sent to his hospital. So he just got in his car and drove to the hospital. No, he wasn't on duty, he wasn't on shift, he wasn't even on call. And he just came straight to the hospital. And he arrived minutes after I arrived. And he ran to theater, and he treated me. He's Jewish, off-duty Jewish doctor. Saved my life.
Wow.
you removed the bullet from my back and tried to fix my lung.
Yanky talks about the hope he has. But first, us Jewish people, we have to live with balance. We need to know how to hold on to the pain in our hearts for what occurred. And it's also Hanukkah now. We mustn't forget to celebrate the beautiful holiday. PZ Deals has an entire Hanukkah gifting section that makes shopping for everyone on your list a breeze. You can browse gifts for him, her, kids, teens, and explore categories like board games, Lego, gaming, and even personalized gifts all in one spot. Whether you know exactly what you want or you want to filter it by price range or type of present, you'll find something perfect without stressing last minute. From practical pickups to fun surprises, the Hanukkah gifting page has an option for all tastes and budgets. They even include great deals and discounts on seasonal favorites so you can save while you shop. With gifts organized cleanly and easy to find, it's a fast way to check everyone off your list without running all over town. It's worth taking a moment to explore the selection yourself and spot something special before time runs out. Download the PZ Deals app. It's free, so you never pay full price again. Also, if you're watching this after Hanukkah, it's great year-round. Now, before we jump right back in, I was personally made aware of the Bondi attack by CBN News. When major events are unfolding, especially involving Israel and the Jewish world, I want news that's clear, responsible, and actively informative. And that's why I've been turning to CBN News. During intense and confusing moments, CBN helped me understand what was really happening without the noise, the spin, or the headlines meant to scare you. They cover Israel, anti-Semitism, global events, and the stories that actually matter with context and clarity. If you want reliable updates about the Jewish world and what's happening around the globe, check out CBN News. Join their WhatsApp group using the link down below to be up to date on the important news. Now back to this week's episode. When you woke up from the surgery and just gathering more what happened, because you weren't unconscious, so you definitely had a good sense of what happened, but did you wake up to the realization that maybe some people that you knew were killed, or just understanding the gravity of what happened?
So I was conscious the whole time, and I had my radio, my Hatzalah radio with me in the ambulance. So I heard chatter still coming through the radio, and I heard these people terribly injured. I didn't hear anyone was killed yet. So when I woke up, there's one name as I was being loaded into the ambulance. I heard Rabbi Eli Schlinger's name being shouted. So I woke up. The first thing I asked is, "What's this, Rabbi Eli?" I knew Eli very well. I was talking to him 20 minutes earlier. I was standing behind the stage talking to him. He thanked me for being there. So first thing I asked is, "How's Rabbi Eli?" And they said, "Unfortunately, he didn't make it."
I'm so sorry. All of this just happened for you personally. What gives you the most chizuk?
The number one, the miracles after miracles. I was one of the first people shot. I was standing right at the entrance. I was one of the closest people to the shooters. And the first shot, which would have likely been fatal, was taken by my radio. The fact that I wasn't wearing a high-vis vest, I would have been a much easier target as well. All those miracles, and there's as well the support from my fellow cell members who didn't even think twice. They heard I was shot, and they responded under live fire, came to the scene while shooting was happening, arrived on the scene to try help. Those are the real heroes, my fellow responders.
It's really incredible. What do you have to say to the Australian government? Do you blame them that this happened?
I don't want to start blaming the governments. Of course, they have to take some sort of responsibility. We all knew it was going to happen. We didn't think it happened in Bondi, in Sydney at a Hanukkah event. But we all knew something was going to happen. We sort of expected, not this bad, but something of this magnitude was expected. I think I would be involved, but the police. I have to thank the police as well. The police were incredible. What they could do, they did. They weren't well equipped, but I know most of the police who were there. I know personally the police who were shot. I work with them all the time on on calls. And I know personally some of the police who were injured. They're all heroes. They really are.
The contrast of good versus evil is just so clear here. You have a bunch of beautiful people just getting together, celebrating Hanukkah by the beach. Tons of people wrapping tefillin, lighting menorah, eating donuts, and then you have this father son evil and just targeting, people like you, children, just anyone. What do you have to say about the black and white contrast of good versus evil here?
It's. I haven't even thought about it yet, but it really is. We're lucky to be in this show. Majority of the people are supportive of the Jewish community. One of the first people who tried before the police could even get to the shooter was a Muslim man, Ahmed. He actually tackled the shooter to the ground and pulled the gun away from him. So it's not. There are good people, non-Jews. We're very, very grateful for the outposts from the community. I have hundreds of messages I haven't even gone through my phone from people I've spoken to years ago. I've been spoken to for years. Paramedics I've worked with, uh, reaching out, just want to know, okay, this is the hotline, the solo hotline's been really off the hook. People calling, asking how I am. It's really incredible.
I saw your brother posted on X that people should daven for you when you were, about to go into your first surgery. And personally, it very much struck me on a very personal level because your name is Yaakov Dov Ben Penina, and my name is Yaakov Ben Penina. I don't have the Dov in there, but it's first off, I want to say your name so people should continue to daven for you. But it's miraculous how you survived, and even the fact that how close it got to being deadly, and it wasn't. But you're going into surgery later today. Is that accurate?
I had 2 surgeries already, and I'm due to have a second one on Friday. So tomorrow. Hopefully that's the last, but they think there may be more after as well.
Okay, so everyone watching, listening should continue to daven for your complete refuah shalema. Um, I want to end off on this note. A lot of people who saw what happened, the entire Jewish people, we feel so connected. It could be, most of us haven't even been to Australia, but when Yidden, are attacked like that, we feel so close. It's our brothers and sisters. What chizik could you give to the world? Because right now, a lot of people are very scared, are very down. What advice would you have to them?
Majority of the world doesn't hate us. The majority of the world supports you, supports Eretz Yisrael. It's the small minority who are loud. We have to be thankful. We saw open miracles. The Eibishter is watching over all of us, and we have to just remember that we're Yidden, children of the Eibishter, and with the Rebbe's brachas, we will be okay. We have to shouldn't be despondent. People were killed, people were injured, myself, but the Rebbe, the Eibishter, looking after us. We'll be okay.
Yanky, thank you so much for doing this. We wish you a complete refuah shlema, and I mentioned before this to get some sleep because I understand it's like 3 a.m. for you.
Is the
But from what I understand, you've been sleeping for the past few hours.
but in and out of surgery, so I'm sleeping there. So
Wow, you're a complete rock star. We look up to you. We thank you as just in general, just being a Hatzalah member. It is so incredible. We are so thankful, and maybe not thankful enough to the beautiful Hatzalah members around the world, but also for being there. I mean, literally, dispatching and telling the members that what was occurring, and the fact that just getting the terrorists away from others, and the fact that they spend time on you, and It's, yeah, can't even comprehend. I can't even comprehend what you've been through, but we are just so thankful.
Thank you, Yaakov. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Please share your words of support for Yanky in the comments below, because he will be checking it, and use the word super because it's the most fitting name for him. He's a hero and he is resilient. And if you'd like to contribute to the victims, there's been a charity campaign set up and it's verified by the Living L'Chaim team, and we're not getting paid to share this. This is your opportunity to help out the families and victims that need it most. You go to charity.com/support Sydney. Of course, we'll have the link down below. Please open your hearts. Thank you again to PZ Deals and CBN News for sponsoring this episode. Now, 16 lives were taken in the Bondi attack, 16 Neshamas murdered simply for being Jews. And right now, so many more are fighting for their lives, families shattered, the Sydney community shaken to their core, and honestly, Jews around the world. This is evil. Call it what it is. Anti-Semitism that has been festering and emboldening. Hatred that targets us, not for what we do, but for who we are. But hear this clearly. We don't give up. We don't disappear, and we don't dim ourselves to make others comfortable. Someone quoted Rev Eli Schlenger, alav shalom, and it could not be more true. We fight anti-Semitism with more light, more Torah, more chesed, more mitzvahs, not less Judaism, more. They want fear. We respond with courage. They want silence. We respond with pride. They want darkness. We respond with flames. Every menorah lit publicly, every Peretz tefillin wrapped, every act of kindness done louder and more visibly. This is our resistance. This is our strength. We're not ashamed of who we are. We are B'nai Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov, a people who have been hunted, attacked, exiled, and targeted for thousands of years and are still here, still learning, still loving, still building. 16 lives were stolen, but they will not steal our identity. They will not steal our faith. They will not steal our future. We stand taller, we shine brighter, we live more Jewishly than ever before, because Jewish answers to hate has always been life, light, and unwavering pride in who we are. Remember, inspiration's everywhere. L'chaim. Living L'chaim.